No, April, I can't sleep. What is going on, everybody? Updates on Allie Ray. Oh, thank you. Let's see, Miss Allie. Let's see. What is the on her? I can't even think. I get everything written down. Any late night snacks? Let's see. Huh? Oh crap! Y'all hang on just a minute. I'll be right back. April, can I have you do me a favor? I'm very tired, Jennifer. So April, so there's one creator that her name is Pika Boutique, and she's only been able to go live one time. Super, she's got a story she really needs to get out, but she wants to get kind of comfortable in doing the lives, but she doesn't have the live access yet. Could you hop over into her live because she's live right now, and um, just kind of tell her to come join in mine because she can't go as a co-host yet. But if she comes over here, I can get her up on camera. I can get her up in the panel anyway, I hope. Hello. There you
Hello.
are.
Hey,
Hey, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm tired, but I can't sleep.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
neither.
I feel that. Listen, do you want to show your face? You don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is actually will help where you got to do 30 minutes for 3 days in a row.
Okay.
This will count toward that.
Okay.
Thank you, Rosie. Yeah, so the follower group that like right now is super inclusive, very welcoming, very nice. I've got a ton of keywords filtered out too, so like typically won't have anybody coming in. I see
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Do you want to stay the little box or do you want to be the big box?
It doesn't matter.
Let's see. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let's expand. There you are. Hi.
Hey, I look a mess, but it's okay.
I think everybody does. It's okay. Let's see. Um, let's see. So how was your day? Oh, somebody said you're pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Did you have a pretty good day?
um, kind of, sort of. Shania had a rough day today. We had some things we had to do with um a meeting with a lawyer and stuff. So she's been pretty stressed out. She didn't go to sleep actually until like midnight. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
Well, it's got a long road ahead of you, but it's not over yet.
Yeah.
So let's see. Um, I'm trying to answer. Let me see. Just reading through some comments and see what. Yeah, the last thing I heard on Allie, she was in the New York Post, but I've not heard anything. Um, what is your follower count?
Mine, I think it's um between 13 and 1400 now. I just hit a
Okay.
thousand yesterday, and then but I've gotten like 300 today. So
Oh, nice. Very nice.
yeah.
Yes, everyone go follow her. She's a very interesting story. If you want to like, so I'll start this off. Okay. So what? What are they telling you is your next step?
Right now it's just dealing with the custody matter. As far as the criminal part, I I don't know, that's complicated. Like the tribal police, they haven't done the investigation.
Hmm.
They still haven't like talked to witnesses or anything, so I don't know what's going to happen with the criminal part. But for the custody matter, I have court in February, and it's because he filed contempt motion and sanctions on me. And the
Wow.
contempt is because I didn't take Shania to visitation,
Hmm.
which of course I didn't take her because she was being hospitalized. So,
Yeah.
um,
That listen. I don't know. I could have took her with a hospital or not. Like to be honest, like it would take a lot. I mean,
yeah,
if you.
well, after I took her to the hospital, the first time she was hospitalized was November 2nd, and that was actually the day that the visitation was supposed to start. The night before, she had like a terrible panic attack, and it was like really scary. I couldn't get her to calm down, so I called like the on call number for her therapist, and they talked to her. And I obviously knew like she's having a hard time, and I of course know what's happened and what she's going through, um, but they asked her, you know, the questions that they always ask, like, are you having any thoughts of harming yourself? And that's when she first told us that she was.
Hmm.
And that was really hard because I didn't know she's feeling that way. Um, but they told me, they're like, you need to take her to the hospital. So that was the first time she was hospitalized. And I told my lawyer, I met with him a few days after that, and I explained like why I didn't go to visitation. And he's like, you should have just took her anyway. And I'm like, we were literally in the hospital because of the reason I just told you. Like, I don't understand how you think I was just supposed to take her and drop her off after that.
Hmm.
And he said, well, the judge isn't going to care why you didn't show up. He's just going to care that you didn't comply with his order. So,
Okay, you got a question. Could you give kind of I guess, a small snippet or a synopsis of what's going on, just in general, the situation, and just be careful with trigger words. And
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so my 9.5-year old daughter was SA'd by her biological father. And we've been battling in court for years. Of course, I've tried to get something criminally done. Um, but when she first disclosed that he was the one that was hurting her, there was a forensic interview done, and family safety got involved, and they substantiated the case. And his visitation rights were terminated, but he's taken me to court several times since then trying to get some sort of visitation or custody back. So we've had to go to court all these times, and um, there's just been like different things done, like with her therapy. Like they've ordered her to do certain things, but they've never ordered visitation for years until now. Another judge got involved, and he went straight to reunification. So he's trying to force the reunification, um, even though before therapy, or I'm sorry, before visitation was supposed to happen, family therapy was supposed to take place. But her therapist started preparing her for it, and she was like, I can't do this. Like, it's traumatizing your child just to think about being in the same room as him.
Hmm.
So, and the judge knows that, and he made an amendment to the order and basically like said, if whether family therapy happens or not, or how it progresses, it doesn't matter. Like, visitation's still supposed to occur. So he like wanted to use therapy as a tool to do the reunification, and then when that showed like this isn't in the best interest of the child, he's like, well, it doesn't matter what the therapist says, we're going to do it anyway. So that's currently what I'm dealing with.
And you have that GoFundMe up.
Yeah, I do have a GoFundMe because I um I had a lawyer until just like he just withdrew from the case like just a couple weeks ago. But we paid him $8,000. He showed to court one time for us. He filed one motion on our behalf and it got dismissed right away because he filed it under the wrong filing number.
Mm,
But he withdrew from the case and he didn't refile that motion. He didn't do anything really, and he refused to give us any of our funds back. So I found another attorney, and I feel really confident in her, but she's charging me $15,000. So,
yeah.
um, but I know a lot of people have said, oh, you can do it by yourself. Like, no, I cannot, especially in these tribal courts. There's no way I can go in there without an attorney. Like his lawyer, my child's father's lawyer, is asking that I be incarcerated for not taking her to visitation. So I definitely have to have a lawyer that can defend me and can show the evidence, and like I have to have an attorney. So
Yeah. That would be difficult to. It's going to be difficult to face him anyway. She shouldn't have to be there.
no, but she actually I had got an order of protection here in Tennessee because we moved off the reservation and we live here in Tennessee now with my parents. And so I got an order of protection here in Tennessee, and we just had court for that January 3rd. And it was dismissed without even having a hearing.
Mm,
And they had like a partition up, so like Shania could not see her dad, but she heard his voice when, they called everybody to see if you were there or not. And like the whole courtroom could hear her. Like just hearing his voice made her completely break down.
mm,
So
I am so sorry that you and your baby are going through this.
yeah, it's hard, especially how she's feeling now. Like I don't know how to deal with my baby feeling this way. Like I'm here for her and she's in treatment, she's in therapy, but it's just like a lot because I don't know, like as a mom, how do you deal with your child feeling this way? I don't want to overstep and like hover over her, but at the same time I want her to know like I'm here. But it's hard.
I think that's the best thing that you can do is to make sure that she knows that there's somebody fighting for her. There's somebody in her corner.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody here will be in her corner too.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I was like really nervous about sharing stuff on here just because I mean, obviously it's really a sensitive subject and I just didn't want the world to know this, but it's gotten to the point I'm like it needs to be exposed how the tribe has failed my daughter, and like I'm at the point now I'm just like I want people to know because we're not the only ones going through this, especially on that reservation. There's a lot of this that happens. um but yeah, it's like this is like my final like cry for help. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And
It
it takes a big step to be able to talk about what your baby's going through, especially with strangers. But somebody out there might know something that might help you, and it's always good reaching out. And I know it's hard to do that
Yeah.
because as a mom of two little girls myself, I can't imagine what you're going through at all. At all.
Yeah.
But you don't have to face this alone.
Thank you.
and the more the more I don't even know more attention that we can get on it, you're gonna open yourself up to more options. Now, it does mean being vulnerable, which you're already being vulnerable, and that's so hard to do. That's the
Yeah.
hardest thing that you're having to do. But yeah, you got like you're getting a lot of support down in the comments. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I
can
just
see
seen
all
that.
this, but
Yeah, thank you guys.
the so I've got the GoFundMe up on my page also, um, and I think it's like it's expensive. Like this attorney's expensive, but she's facing the tribe, right? She's facing tribal sanctions, and I think that's why she's more expensive than a normal attorney would be. But
Yeah.
especially with her being a woman, you're going to be able to connect with her a little on a little more personal level, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
Um, I just hope when y'all get in there, I think it will
Yeah. Well,
consistency.
I know when I first talked to her and like did, set up the consultation, she had said that normal custody matters, they start around 5 grand. And like that's pretty average from what I know anyway. But then when I explained everything to her and showed her like the mountain of evidence that I have and told her all of the witnesses, like forensic interviewers and therapists, she's like, oh, this is going to be like a big case. And she told me, which of course, lawyers have to make their money, but she was like, I don't like charging you this much, but you're going to have to be my big case. I'm not going to be able to take on other cases because this is going to take a lot of time, which I understand. I mean, if I were to pull out my bag of evidence and show you guys, you'd be like, that is insane. Like therapist notes, ER visits, everything. And it's just a lot to go through. And so, yeah, it's going to take a lot of time. I mean, I organized it the other night and putting it in different folders and everything from my lawyer, and it took me like 7 hours just to go through it. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
The question is the judge an attorney or just voted in?
So I believe how it works, the judge is voted in. I know with the tribe, most of their positions are voted in. Um, but this judge just got involved like in the past, like I want to say in the past like year and a half. The judge that's been involved prior to this um, left it up to a therapist. Like how the court order was written was basically saying it was up to Shania's therapist if there were to be reunification. And then this judge got involved and he just like totally disregarded that. And he's like, no, we're gonna this father needs to have visits with his child. And he like the current court order, it like completely ignores any substantiation of the abuse. It just seems it makes it sound like it's just like an allegation and there was nothing to it, and that's definitely not true. Like I said, family safety substantiated it and there is a lot of evidence.
Let's see. Ask the judge to recluse himself.
Yeah, so my dad, which is actually he's a retired cop, and he's looked at that, and I haven't talked to this new attorney about it yet, and she seems like a fighter, so maybe she would. But I know my attorney that withdrew. I asked him about that. I'm like, can we not get another judge? And he said, well, with tribal matters, that's really not gonna work. And like I know it's like it doesn't make sense to you guys if you're not familiar with tribal matters, but they like have their own rules. They have their own everything. That's why they like to protect their sovereignty like they do, because they keep everything in their area and they don't want anything getting out. So it's definitely like something that I want to talk to this new attorney about, especially given that my dad did some digging and he found out that the judge he actually was, my child's dad's lawyer was a shareholder in the judge's firm when he was a lawyer. So I don't know if that's like a conflict or not. I don't know how that stuff works, but it definitely doesn't sit right with me, because that shows that they've had like a close working relationship for a lot of years. So
Huge conflict of interest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a conflict of interest because they're supposed to be unbiased.
right. And the judge even said, he told my attorney when we had court in September, he said, like, he told him that he was more upset about me moving off the reservation with 2 enrolled kids. But that shouldn't be held against me because it wasn't against the court order and I had every legal right to. But that right there is just the judge admitting that he has, a, he's being biased, and it's not for a legal reason or anything he should be able to hold against me. But with the tribe, it's like I don't know what steps to take to like expose that and get somewhere with it and like make our situation better, just because there's such a close knit community and that anyone's like scared to get involved. Like when the tribe refused to help me with certain things, I would go to like the surrounding counties and even the local one here. And the minute that I say, like, oh, this happened on the reservation, they're like, oh no, we don't want to touch that. Like, nobody wants to mess with tribal matters.
Hmm. So I emailed, let's see, 4 or 5 news outlets, and it's essentially what I'm getting back is nobody really wants to look at it. But I'm hoping some independents will pick it up.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting on an answer.
I could contact a couple news stations in my state as well and see if we can't get it more spread out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so I kind of know from talking to you and then reading, especially that PBS article you sent me.
Yeah.
But the question here is, have you exposed him to his immediate circle?
Oh yeah. Everyone knows. Like the tribe, when I say like the tribe and the reservation, it's a very small, tight knit community and everyone's connected, everyone's related, or I mean, it's a very small town. And so everyone knows like what he's done. And I mean, of course, he's saying he didn't do it, but a lot of people know that he did. And um, I mean, he's actually like brought that up in court and said, like, try to get me for like defamation for that. And it's like, um, no, I mean, you did it, and you know,
Evidence doesn't lie.
yeah, exactly. So I'm not like going around calling him names and, anything like that. It's like I'm stating the facts and it happened and I have the evidence. So,
They told you, what did they tell you when you were trying to testify and say what happened? The judge strike it from the
so
record?
yeah, when we had the trial that determined like the current court order for custody was in December 2023. And it was like our chance to get everything in, all the evidence. I'm sorry, all the witnesses was there, including the forensic interviewer, a couple of the therapists, the pediatrician was gonna testify that did the medical exam. Like all these people was ready. It was like I felt really good about it. And then the forensic interviewer didn't testify, the pediatrician didn't testify. Like nobody but one therapist did. And any time that she would go to speak about like trauma or abuse, it would get struck from the record. It was hearsay. That's what was said. And
Mm,
anytime that I would go to say something, because of course his lawyer was attacking me, like, you're keeping this child away. And I'm like, yeah, because he abused her. And it's like that part would get struck.
mm,
Even to the point I was asked, why did you move from the reservation? And I said, to give my daughters a better life and to keep my daughter safe. And on the court order, it says Miss Woodall moved to give her daughters a better life. So, yeah, everything was like struck that had anything to do with like actually bringing up the evidence and what's happened. Like, it was a nightmare, and my attorney was worthless. I mean, completely worthless. He didn't say nothing. He didn't strike nothing. He didn't. He didn't speak up for me not one time.
just took your money and that was it.
Yeah.
I have a question if you don't mind.
Okay.
I know it's probably triggering for your daughter, but would the judge not take into account her testimony?
So she has been prepared to testify 4 times now, and she's never got the chance to.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it always gets put off or set aside or continued. The same thing with the witnesses. Like the forensic interviewer, she's been there 4, maybe 5 times to testify, and she's not once got to testify.
They don't want her on the stand. because
No,
it's not just hearsay then.
right. And like when we had the court date just this year on January 3rd here for the protection order, my lawyer, it was a legal aid attorney here because the abuse shelter helped us get the order of protection and all. So I had a legal aid attorney and he talked to my daughter and he got her, he told her, he's like, the judge is going to want to talk to you. And he asked her some hard questions and she did really well with it. And that's what we thought was going to happen. And then he pulls me aside and says that the judge said it was dismissed. And I was like, why? We haven't even had a hearing. My daughter's not been able to speak. I've not been able to speak. And he said that his lawyer had brought the tribal custody order and it stated on there that he was a fit and proper person to have visitation. Therefore, he couldn't grant the order of protection. And I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, it's like, okay, that's fine, but at least hear the evidence because I can show you why he's not a fit and proper person.
Yeah.
But the attorney said, he's like, I'll just be honest with you, like the judge seen it was in tribal courts and he doesn't want to mess with it. So it's just aggravating because the tribe has a child advocacy center. They have their own family safety program. They have the abuse shelter, and none of those resources will help me. But then I go outside of the reservation and they're like, sorry, we can't help you because it's a tribal matter. So I'm like, okay, where can I go? It's like I'm backed in a corner and I'm like, I don't know. Nobody can help me.
So I have a question. Do you think anything ever happened off the reservation?
So I don't think so. I've asked my daughter and she said no. Like she remembers all the details. And she told me it all happened in his house. And well, one time it happened at his mom's house. So yeah, I was like thinking like, well, maybe if they visited somewhere, but from what I hear and from what like I noticed when she was visiting him, they don't seem to like go nowhere or do much. So yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, I seen someone ask about, it's a question I get a lot on my videos about like a guardian ad litem. And I've been going through this with her now for 6 years. And I just heard about a guardian ad litem like 3 months ago. And it was when I went to the CPS office here in Tennessee. And I'm like, what is that? And they're like, you don't know what that is? And you've been going through this battle this long? And I'm like, no. And so, of course, now I know what it is, but the tribe doesn't have that. They don't have, I think it's called CASA workers. Like, there's all kinds of different advocacy for children, like in different jurisdictions, but the tribe doesn't have any. Like, there is no guardian ad litem. There is no a child advocate. There's nothing.
Would there be one that the state would cross over?
So I called, they have a guardian ad litem in Asheville, which, is like right there by Cherokee. It's the next like big city there. And they said that they had got involved in tribal matters like previous and they just don't like to do it. So it's just like the same roadblock I keep. It's like, it's really frustrating because I'm like, okay, well, where can I go? What can I do? I see somebody said something about taking it to tribal council. So I have actually met with the tribal chief and he met with me one time. He flaked out on the first meeting I had with him. So then I made some phone calls, put pressure on him, and someone got me a meeting with him in a day. And I went there and he had the tribal attorney general, the chief of police, and a couple of officers, the tribal family safety attorney, and someone from public health. Like, there's a bunch of people in this meeting. And I like pleaded with them. Like, that was the last time I really was like, I had hope. I was like, okay, maybe one of them will help me. And they promised me they were going to do a deep dive into the investigation, and I brought up the fact that I knew for a fact Cherokee PD did not investigate. I said, you guys didn't investigate. You've not talked to the pediatrician. You've not talked to like all these witnesses. You don't even have all the evidence. And so they asked me if they could get everything that I had as far as evidence, and they told me that they would go talk to those witnesses. And in September, and this was after that meeting, my attorney went to subpoena these witnesses, and they said that they still had never heard from Cherokee Police Department. So they literally just refused to investigate.
Jeez.
But in that meeting with all these people, here I'm like face to face with the tribal chief, and he asked me in like this tone. He was like, "So you just want to keep them away forever?" And I'm like, I just I just didn't know what to say, because if you look on his page and his website, like he's constantly talking about trauma and indigenous communities, generational trauma, and he's always talking about things like that. But yet he said that statement to me after I just told him that my child was abused by this person. So that kind of like let me know where his head was at. But I went to meet with him again after Shania was hospitalized, and he was like he refused to meet with me. So I finally got to talk to someone that's like his assistant, I guess. And she was like in tears when I was telling her stuff. She's like, "Oh my gosh, we have to help you." And then I got a call back from someone else, and she's like, "The chief has been told not to have any more meetings with you." And I'm like, "Why?" And she said, he just can't do any more meetings with you. And I'm like, "Okay, well, who can meet with me?" And she's like, "I don't know. I'm sorry, bye." So, and there's like people on the tribal council that's offenders themselves. So yeah, that whole place is like that.
Yeah, they'd want to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why though.
Yeah,
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
make
And I
any
mean,
sense.
it makes me like it's a whole nother like level of hurt for me, because I'm indigenous too, and I've always been super proud of my culture, and this is like made me sick, because we're like always taught like our elders and our children come first. They're everything. We protect them with everything. But that's not what I'm seeing here. Like I never in a million years thought this is how a tribe would handle things. So yeah, I don't know. And then when I started looking at things like that PBS article that I sent you, that was just like crazy. I mean, people were told not to report abuse, and then when somebody did, he got fired from his tribal job. Like that's just, and it's crazy that when I shared that on my like Facebook and stuff, people were like that are from Cherokee, they're like, "Oh, I never heard of this." And I'm like, "How did you not hear about something like this, you know?"
Yeah. Do you know why the last judge left?
I don't. I know that he was old, so honestly, it might be that he retired. But yeah, this new judge, he was like, and what's even like weirder for me, like hard for me to grasp, is this new judge was, he found like in the late 90s, he found a child advocate center. Like he played a huge role in a child advocate center. And then he was a family law attorney, and like I looked at his reviews, and he seemed to be a really good attorney. And so I don't know, it's crazy, because he's just shown me like a total disregard for my child's well-being. I mean, it's like it's being completely ignored. So yeah, it's a completely different world there. Yeah, it is. The tribe is like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like I always tell people it's like a cult. Like it really is.
Yeah. Yeah, from what you're saying, especially, let's see, yeah, they protect their own.
Yeah. Well, see, they do protect their own, but that's the thing. My child, she's an enrolled member of the tribe, so you'd think they'd want to protect her. But
Hmm.
with them, it's all about money and votes, and like that's all they care about. So, and her dad is married to someone that her family is. I don't know if really they're like really influential, but I know that there's some like they're well known names, so that could play a part in it too.
Yeah, good.
Yes, she's Eastern Band Cherokee from Cherokee, North Carolina.
Do you have a video explaining your story on your page?
Yeah, it's pinned on there.
Okay. When I get off here, I'm gonna reshare it and share it to other places too. I can't do much, but I can at least try and get your story as far out as I possibly can.
I appreciate it. Yes, I'm indigenous, but I'm not. My mom is Western Band Cherokee and Muskogee Creek, so I'm not an enrolled member of the Eastern Band tribe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
money plays a lot. Money plays a
yeah,
big part.
yeah. It's like right now, there's like a huge thing. Cherokee's like really mad that the Lumbees are getting federally recognized, and the reason why is because then it'd take some from their state funding. So that's all they care about is money. They
Hmm.
That's literally like all they ever talk about, and their newspapers always feel like trying to make it seem like they're this awesome community that takes care of their people, and that's just not true at all.
So let's see. So I guess, so how does explain to me how that works? Are you can't be enrolled, or did you choose not to be?
No, I'm not enrolled, but like I said, my mom is Western Band Cherokee and Muskogee Creek, so it would be a different tribe anyway. Um, yeah, both is Cherokee. There's actually three bands of Cherokee, but Cherokee Nation is in Oklahoma, and the one I'm dealing with is Eastern Band Cherokee in Cherokee, North Carolina.
Do you think you would have more uh, leverage if you were enrolled?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So what does that process look like? Like, let's say if you decided tomorrow you wanted to enroll, what does that look like?
I mean, it's like just paperwork and like doing some like family, just showing where your family comes from and stuff. But like
Okay.
so for Shania, well, for both my children to get them enrolled for the Eastern Band, since their fathers were already enrolled, then it was just as simple as going to the enrollment office, filling out a packet, and then they do like a DNA test, and then they get on the roll. She's 9.5 now.
Is there do they have a statute of limitations?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what they. Um, my dad actually found that just like in the past year or two that they they actually made a law, or like there's, I don't know how to say it, but it's like a part of the law where it makes it where if you're dealing with a case like this, you can bring up abuse, whether it be SA or domestic. Um, it's not, there is no like, oh, it's too old, you can't talk about it or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, my dad, he did find that, and he was like, well, that's actually a good thing the tribe did. But I was told that, like, when we had that trial in December 2023, I was told that I could literally not talk about the abuse. And I'm like, well, how do I do that? How do I talk about why I've kept him away without talking about why? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
And I do believe in most states, if they're minors who are going through something like that, there are no statute of limitations.
Yeah, I don't, and I know that I know when I had got the order of protection, there was an issue with that too. Like I had to, so that's another thing. I had the order of protection for over a month, and the shelter here that helped us get it, um, they were calling up to Cherokee PD and Cherokee Clerk of Court, and they were like, "Hey, we really need this served so we can have court on this matter," and they wouldn't serve it to him. And so I had to hire a private server, um, and he went to the reservation and served him with it. And he said when he got there, he was like, "Oh, this doesn't matter here. This doesn't like this is for Tennessee. This has no power here on the reservation." But that's not true. Um, like in the Violence Against Women Act, it clearly states, and it even mentions tribes in there. Like when it comes to an order of protection, another jurisdiction has to honor it. So I don't know, but that's how they think there. It's not just him that thinks that way. They all think they're above the law. Um, they come here, like where I live, it's just like an hour and a half away from the reservation. And the police here have told me they're like, people come from Cherokee all the time. They commit crimes here. Then they go back over there thinking we can't do nothing to them. And it is hard to actually punish them for things that they do because of their laws and their rules.
Let's see. So what the custody order they're trying to enforce, what does it look like as far as split?
So it states that I have permanent custody and control over, but then it gives him, visitation. It's worded in there that family therapy is supposed to occur and visitation, and it says in there that the first like 2 months is supervised, and then it turns to unsupervised like 3 days at a time. But however, like the supervised visit, the supervisor's his wife, and she was there at the time of the abuse, and that is documented. So it's like every time I've talked to someone, like I've talked to like the social worker from BIA, I've talked to people that like work in these fields and work with stuff like this all the time. And when I tell them that, they're like, "Well, is the visits at least supervised?" I'm like, "Yeah, by his wife." And they're like, "What?" So
Yeah.
that just says a lot on its own.
So I don't have to work tomorrow. There's a place over here in Birmingham called the Garrett House, and this is all they deal with is CSA and domestic abuse and things like that. I'm gonna go over there. I've got a meeting set up with them anyway to kind of introduce myself on what I do on my platform. But I'm gonna go over there tomorrow and see. Maybe they know some resources that just aren't available to the public.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst thing to do is tell me no, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm
Oh yeah,
hoping like I'm really wanting this exposed. Like I'm wanting people to know like this is happening, and it's not just for us. Like there's other people struggling like this, and people are scared. Like I'll say this, like people are scared to speak up there. Like when I lived there, I was scared to do things like I should have made a complaint on the officer that first investigated because of things he did and didn't do and he said that was out of line. But I knew how that place works, and I'm like, if I go do that, then they can kick, because I lived in tribal housing.
hmm
And that's how they do it there. They make you so dependent on them. And I mean, I'm thankful that they help you so much financially, and they give you so much resources when you live on the reservation, but it makes you so dependent on them that if you make the wrong people mad, like they can take everything from you. So
really.
um they tried that with me once, but I fought it. They were like trying to find different petty reasons to kick me out of my tribal housing, but I fought it. But a lot of people won't fight. They're just like I said, even people that are enrolled members born and raised there, they know that you can't make certain people mad.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
What happened to equality?
I did follow you. I will shoot you a message and see if I can't do some of my own deep dive and try and figure something out for you as well.
Thank you.
So Danco, what is Danco?
Wilson. I don't know what either one of those things are.
I have
I
no
mean,
idea.
if they'll stand on tribal land, maybe worth looking into.
Yeah, I know that um, on reservations, um, if any major crime is committed, then the FBI gets involved. So I have reached out to them. I've talked to them several times, and it's just like when we first initially talked, I mentioned certain things like different pieces of evidence, and he seemed a little confused. So I'm like, okay, this means he doesn't have everything, which means Cherokee PD didn't give him the full file. That should say a lot right there. But he told me, that me and my dad could send him over any of the evidence, and we could just keep sending him stuff, and he'll look at it, and if there's something that can be done, then it'll be done. So we kept sending him everything and making sure that he had all the evidence. And the last time I spoke to him, the agent told me that he said basically what this boils down to is this is just a he said, she said kind of thing. And I about lost it. I was like, no, you like, and now here
Yeah.
I am talking to an agent, so I'm keeping my cool, but I'm like, he did not just say that to me. So,
Uh, Turtles, yes, she has mountains of paperwork and paper trails for this.
yeah,
There's all kinds of paper trails.
yeah,
This Danco, let's scroll back up. Danco stands for Domestic Abuse No Contact Order, and it's federal, so it would stand on tribal land if you could get it.
okay. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Yeah, I have a paper trail of all the evidence. Like, I wouldn't be on here talking if I didn't have evidence.
I, like I was looking at one of the videos you put up, and you're showing like you got all the envelopes sitting out in front of you, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that's got to be because I've got something I'm doing right now, and just the little bit that I have like took me a couple of hours to organize and write, pick through, and I cannot imagine how much you go through just to get that organized.
Yeah, it was a lot, and then I had like a huge binder made up, and then my dad went through it making copies because my dad's been like contacting the head of the FBI. He's been trying to get news involved. I mean, like I said, he's a retired cop, and he's been like really trying to do everything he could think of. Um, but when he went through my stuff, it kind of got everywhere because he was making copies and scans. So I had to go through it all again, and I'm just like, I just get so infuriated because I'm like, how in the world is this not enough? Like, I mean, like I said, there's
100%.
emergency room visits, medical exams, forensic interviews, like I don't there's literally everything but a literal video of it happening. So I'm like, this is insane. And
Well,
my
even
daughter's been in therapy consistently now for 5 years, over 5 years. And so, you know,
even in some cases, which is sad as it is, video evidence is not admissible. Like there was a
yeah,
Pennsylvania, I believe, this lady videoed her attacker, and she got more time than he would have gotten because Pennsylvania is a two-party state, and she videoed him against his will.
wow. Yeah, I've been videoing like when I go to these tribal offices because I know when I tell people how I'm treated and things that are said and done, like I see the looks I get, and I don't even blame people. Like it doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound like there's like no way this could be true. So I've been videoing stuff, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know like if I'm actually like supposed to do that or not, but just to protect myself, I'm doing it because like I'm so tired of like I'm treated when I go up there for help, like even I could walk in the police department right now and I get treated like I'm the criminal. Like they all just look like here she goes again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going nowhere until you do something.
Yep.
Persistence is key.
Yeah.
I am. Let's see. Well, I'm starting to notice some noise upstairs, which means probably the little one got up. But I think we did get over that 30-minute mark for you for sure. So that's going
Okay.
to be another little milestone for your lives. Do you have anything else you want to say before we go?
Um, no, I'll let you take care of your babies, but I thank
Okay.
everybody that's in here and anybody that like shares or donates or just prays, like anything you can do to help. I really, really appreciate it.
hmm And then I've seen you've got a few gifts on here. I'll look, and when this closes, it'll tell me what the gifts are. And then
Okay.
when that pays out, I'll go ahead and put it on the GoFundMe
Okay. Thank
from
you.
my side. You're very welcome. Everybody have a good night. I'm gonna go get the little one, put her back in bed, and then I'm going to bed. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Okay.
Good night,
Good night,
Anthony.
everyone.
Bye, guys.